This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor. Drink BodyArmor.com. Get your edge.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Here comes John Morant, dribbles up into some full court pressure. He's quick, Josh is blowing by the defense, going coast to coast. One man to beat, and it's the big man. John leaps up. Oh, and hammers
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for John Morant to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW.
Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday. Yes, I always keep forgetting my Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's the Wednesday edition of Today with DW. What's going on? I'd like to ask you all what you guys got planned for the weekend. As you can see, I have a very special guest. Haven't had a guest on in a while, but we'll tell you all about that in a second. But again, how you guys all doing? Let me know what you're doing for the weekend. Hope you had a good week. It's Happy Hump Day. I don't know. You know what? I need to figure that out. Where did the term hump day come from? Maybe our guest can tell us that. Dayna, I know I'm going to ruin your last name because I ruin everybody's last name. So how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Pereira.
Pereira. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Unless you are Mexican, because then they'll call me Pereira.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't roll my R, so it's just Pereira. We'll just keep it that way. What's going on, Timmy? How are you? So you are. We're going to go deep into your history and your story towards the end of the show. But as I was telling you off pod, we have some segments and I want to keep our guests involved. We're going to have some fun with it a little bit, but just give a brief breakdown. Actually, I'll do it. This is the first time we're meeting face to face. We were online chatting for a while. Thank you to our mutual friend, Brim. What's going on, Brim, and the GHR crew? You guys have started a brand new podcast, which in Brim fashion, hey, you want us on your network? That's pretty much sure. What am I going to say? He's blunt when it comes to that, and he's a good guy. So we did tease it on our network that a brand new show was coming, and I kind of teased it a little bit for the last couple of days. But all your episodes will be starting to come out next week. So we wanted to kind of tease everybody with this episode. To give everybody some information about that. And it's the Dirty Little Secrets Club is the one that you're with Brim. I got to tell you, if you guys haven't listened to it yet, I haven't shared any links yet, but I should have. Juicy gossip coming in here. I mean, the first one was really tame. The second was, and the third and fourth one were like, what?
Yeah, we needed to get some people rolling on it. They were like, should we? And then it was just balls to the wall. And they were like, well, here you go. You asked for it.
That is awesome. And you were a newer podcaster.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I've been doing it, I guess, since January of last year. But the Dirty Little Secrets Club, we just recorded our 6th episode.
Nice. Very nice. And I'm caught up to date. Like I said, the last one, was that the Pegger? Was that the Pegger? Or was that
probably?
The one yeah. The one before. No, I think it was the one before because this last one was the guy having sex with the other guy. So we're giving you a little teaser of what the things are going on this show, just so you know. And there's moments, there's moments on Day's show that Brim is speechless. Now, if you don't know Brim, usually there's no way in hell that Brim is ever speechless because he just keeps talking. But there's a couple episodes he's like, what? He just totally speechless. So you guys are going to love this. And it's going to come on the network. We're going to give you the links to share and follow them on Instagram all over the place. But the first time I'm like, Day, you got it down. You just made Brim speechless. That was the best part of the whole show.
Achievement unlocked.
What is that? Oh, here you go. There you go. See, you just leveled up. There you go. That's all for you, Brim. So before we get in the show, we have these segments, and I put it out on the Facebook page, on the Today with DW Facebook page. Kind of similar, not like Dirty Little Secrets, but we always asking for a friend. And usually 9 times out of 10, it's not the friend, it's you. So I picked some questions. So last week I let it sit on the Facebook page for about a week. So last week I asked, is it okay for adults to order off the kids menu? Now, not for your kids, but you're an adult. Is it okay? Now, some restaurants don't allow you to do that. So you're a mom, so you could get away with it. But how do you feel about it? Do you think if you're going into a restaurant and the adults are, I mean, do you think that they should be allowed to order off the kids menu?
I absolutely think that they should be able to order off the kids menu because sometimes you just want a smaller meal, and that's what a kids menu is.
But isn't that an appetizer?
No, because they don't have cheeseburger and french fries as an appetizer.
That's true. It's not tapas. So yeah, it's true.
Sometimes you really want to satisfy that craving. You're like, I just want a fucking burger and some fries, but
Right.
I don't want it to be like as big as my head. I want it to just
Right.
be a tiny little burger and some fries. I want to satisfy my craving and still not have heart disease.
Okay, well, most of the people, actually everybody that made comments, well, we'll pull out a few here. Tammy Lido said, yes, I still order Happy Meals. That one there, though, you're usually 9 times out of 10 going through the drive-thru, so they don't know the Happy Meals for you. So you get a buy on that because you don't know.
And a toy, so good for him.
Right. Lisa Wolf, who's going to be a new podcaster coming to our network next month. She says, sure. Valerie says, yes, not everyone eats large portions. Just like you said, there you go. Kim Chapman says, sure. I just had a baby cone from Mr. Bill's and it was like a normal small size. No way a baby going to eat all that. Sometimes kids' portions are just right.
Mm-hmm.
Matches Malone, who's an awesome Batman cosplayer. He goes, I'm a big kid, so why not? So I guess the consensus is it's okay. Now, for you restaurants out there that don't allow that, then what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Hey, Applebee's, I'm a kid at heart, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Those are fun segments. A couple, or a fun topic, or I should say a segment. Now, there's another thing that we have called the junk drawer. And now, because you're on, that's usually at the end of the show, and it's usually just random things that we find. But I did find this one thing that I want to talk to you about, because you're mom, you're married, you're out of the single life, and these are things that you shouldn't be keeping in your household if you're over 30. It's pretty much. So, so what do you think? It's not a test, but what do you think? Is there anything that you have in your house that you're like, I just shouldn't have this? I'm 30. This should not be in my house.
Crop tops.
No, come on. Why? That's age discrimination. What are you talking about? Crop top.
Well, so whenever I was like in my 20s, I could rock a crop top, no problem. And then I had 2 more kids, and now I'm getting a little older. It's a little harder to take off that weight when you get.
I've seen you. There's no way in hell you're not going to be supporting a crop top when you go to Cancun. Come on, let's be honest here. Come on.
I've gotten a little modest now. That's not true. I'm like, I paid for my boobs. I show them off all the time.
See, there you go. So, all right, crop tops. All right. How about one of the things on this list is those shot glasses you got when you were in college, when you did go to the Bahamas or Cancun and have your name on it, or Happy Cancun or the Bahamas. I mean, those, I think it's time to get rid of those. I mean, those, you're not going to be, and if it's Jello shots you're making, it's going to be for your kids. So there's not going to be any booze in it. So
yeah, it's interesting how that changes too, right? Like when you're in your 20s, you're like shot. And then you get, as you age, you're like, shots mean I'm down for a week. Like,
yeah.
No, thank you to that.
I'm taking the week off. All right, I got shots today, but I'm off for the entire week, so that's okay. I'll just do 2.
Yes, exactly. You really have to limit yourself whenever it comes to that. So yeah, maybe get rid of the shot glasses. It's just taking up space now.
How about how long did it take you? How about this? How long did it take you to get rid of your first kitchen tools, your utensils?
Oh,
You're still carrying around your first ones when you were single, and they're still in your house. I think you have more than a problem. You have more than a problem that you're 30.
Yeah. No. My husband and I, whenever we moved in together, we just had like a gazillion of everything. So
Right.
at some point during our lives, we kind of chucked everything and just bought one of each
Right.
new, and that was it.
Mismatching silverware too is a no-no. You get rid of those plastic forks. How about that in your drawer, in your silverware drawer, are there wrapped plastic sporks and knives from when you do takeout?
No,
Oh.
because they drive me crazy.
Well, I guess I better go home and get rid of mine because I'm
Yeah.
definitely over 30. Well,
They
I
drive me
save them because you never know. All right, so I'm single, so I think you know what it is. It's justification for me saying, you know what, I don't feel like doing the dishes today. There's a couple forks in there, but I got this plastic one right here from Main Moon Chinese, Chinese restaurant. I'm good. We're all good.
Yeah, no, it's the packaging, I think, like the crinkly
Oh, the crinkly.
plastic and everything. It just like it gets to my brain. I'm like, I can't handle the extra noise. I have too much going on in my head already. I can't handle that too. I have to get rid of it all.
Another item here, and we'll go through a few more. How long have you owned the same mattress? Not like this mattress, but like when you moved out, how long did you have sleep on the same mattress? Do you
Um,
remember?
so I moved a lot, so I didn't have the same mattress a lot of the time
Okay.
because
Okay.
like
Would you just
one
leave it in the house and just buy a new one?
well, so because like I left my mom's house and I moved across the country. I didn't take anything with me, so I bought a new
Gotcha.
one and it was like a cheap $100 mattress or something whenever I bought the new one. Then I moved again and I moved in with a boy and he already had a bed, so I
Okay.
just slept in his bed.
Right. Okay.
And then, I moved back across the country. I
So
slept
you're
on a
lucky.
futon.
Right. Well, that's another one on the list. Get rid of that futon. If you're still in your 30s, still sitting on a futon, it's time to upgrade to a couch.
Yeah.
Um, I have to say, I think I went like 8 years on a mattress. I don't know if that's good or bad. So anybody in the comments, tell me if that's good or bad. I have a new one now. It's only like 3 or 4 years old, but I think I went 8 or 9 years on the same mattress. I don't know if if that's
Well,
good
I
or
think
not.
it depends on the mattress. So the one that
Right.
we have now, we bought probably six years ago,
Okay.
and
Okay. Yeah.
it's it, but it's a really good one. It's one of those like a really good expensive
Right. Right.
mattress,
Right.
and
Well,
so
mine
I think
definitely
that
was
holds
not
up.
a good expensive mattress. I was single in college and it was a twin. So it was like paper thin. So
Was it on the floor? There was like no
no. I had a frame.
headboard or okay.
Yeah. No, I was an adult then. I had the frame. It wasn't just on the floor.
Well, you're more of an adult than I was because I put that bitch on the floor.
Nice. Another thing too, get rid of all those old cell phones. How many cell phones do you have do you have a junk drawer in your kitchen?
I do have a junk drawer in my kitchen. Right now it is filled with like little girl ponytails, pens and markers, and whatever like screws. Screws fall out of chairs that we just don't know. We're like, "What?" So we
I
put
think
them in
that's
the drawer.
I think that's in everybody's junk drawer. My junk drawer has uh I guess I should be getting rid of old silverware. I'm on this list quite a bit. I have like old mismatched knives, like old steak knives that I'm never going to use because I have a whole knife set sitting on my counter, screws, straws, couple screwdrivers, like I said, it's a junk drawer. I think some
Yeah.
wet naps. I don't even know why I have wet naps in there, but yeah.
Yep.
So, and I have a ton of cell phones in my office drawer. So I probably have to get rid of that. As I
What
said,
are you doing with them?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I think I have like 7 or 8 of them. I mean, I still actually, I had my very first cell phone I ever got, which was the StarTAC Star Trek communicator flip phone. I still have that. Now that's ancient. I don't even think, even if I could get it to work, I don't even think it even picks up service anymore. So I have no idea what I'm doing with them.
So are you like every few years you just open an old cell phone, see what you find, like what pictures are in there or
I'd be scared. I'd be scared. Thank God none of the chargers are with the phone. See, that's the other thing. I don't have any of the chargers to go with the phone, so I have no idea why I'm giving. It's not like I can turn them in and get any money for them either. I don't know. Maybe I'll start a cell phone museum. Maybe that's what I'll do.
See, there you go. I like that. You're thinking, you're using your
Yes,
noggin.
that's right. Hand-me-down furniture. Did you ever take any hand-me? No, you moved a lot. You just left everything, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I have had hand-me-down furniture,
Right.
but not anymore. I got rid of all of that stuff
Yeah.
whenever I,
See, you're
became
adulting. You're
yeah.
adulting. Um, mismatched, what do you want to call them? Like Tupperware storage containers that are just warped from the food or microwaving so many times. I'm sorry. I'm guilty as charged. They're
They're all
still
sauce
useful.
stained.
Yeah, it's not even stained. It's to the point where now it's like looks like frosted, but it's all just like you left sauce in there too much, so the acid ate halfway through the container. But it still works because there's not a hole in it. I'm like, I could this be useful for something. What if I have a leak in the house and I need a Tupperware to just catch the leak. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm super guilty of that. My other half, though, made me get rid of it. He went to Costco and bought a whole new thing of them and was like, "We're throwing these out." I had like an emotional attachment
Oh, I
to
bet.
my Tupperware.
You have a burning ceremony out there. Just burn all the plastic out in the garbage can out in the driveway.
Yeah.
What else? Now, this one, I'm not really sure if I take out menus. Now, as a single man, I'm going to have a lot of takeout menus. Now, obviously, you can go online, but again, it's just kind of easier to open up the drawer and pull out some takeout menus. But they're saying if you're over 30, don't worry about it. Everything's on your phone. I'm like, I don't know. Do you have it?
Shockingly, I have no takeout menus.
Okay.
I'm a Grubhub whore and
Okay.
like Uber Eats and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I just, God, I hate that I'm one of those people that I'm just like, I'll just open this app and order. But I do. I just go right through the app.
And lastly, I'm also guilty of this. Get rid of all your mini hotel toiletries that you get on many of your trips. Now, I keep them because I don't know why, but my bathroom's set up with my stuff. And then, not that I have guests over at my house, but then on the other side, there's the washcloths, and then there's the little, the Marriott shampoo, conditioner, and the soap. I'm like, I'm thinking that I'm gonna have people over. This is your stuff. Don't touch my stuff. I don't know why I do that. It's just the way it is. And I have like a bag full of toiletries because I travel a lot anyway. I used to when we had conventions, Comic-Cons and everything before last year. Hey, Judd, what's going on? Oh, they say, hi, Uncle Herb. It's Connor. What's going on, Connor? Nice. So I'm guilty of that, but it serves a purpose. I mean, it's not like I have them from 15 years ago when you open up the shampoo, it just bubbles out because it's just like so hot and crusty in there that it's just, ew.
My husband has a bag of toiletries that we got in Costa Rica 7 or 8 years ago, and it's still under his sink. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with these? Like, we're not going to use these ever. Just get rid of them.
Listen, I had to fucking get rid of my Tupperware. Get rid of those fucking toiletries.
You made me get rid of my plastic. You're getting rid of your plastic.
Yes, exactly. Fair is fair. It's not a one-way street here. Toiletries and Tupperware out the door.
Getting rid of it.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Today's show, everyone. We're going to take a short trip into Strange Tales, and we're going to get Day and get in the mood for Strange Tales, The More You Know. And then we're going to do a deep dive right into Day, her podcast, and what got her started podcast, and why is she with Brim? It doesn't make any sense. We got to find out. We got to find out that dirty little secret. All that and more, everyone. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Calling it a day, Carrie?
Oh no, there's more.
Like what?
More reps, more steps. More this, more that. More time to breathe. More hustle, more grind.
There's more to Carrie Underwood.
And I should wrap by midnight.
Impressive.
And there's more to Body Armor Light with natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Wednesday night edition of Today with DW. It is Happy Hump Day. What better to have on Hump Day to have an amazing guest, Dayna, here. I can't get any better than that. See, I'm already sucking up to our guest, our first guest in months. So.
You got a little something right here.
Something like that.
You don't see that every day.
Ooh.
Anyway, I told you we're pretty cheeky here when it comes to the sound effects. I love my sound effects. I can't help it.
I love it.
All right. So every show we start out with The More You Know. So you can chime in as we go through, Day, and we'll get you started. And hopefully hopefully it makes you a little smarter. I'm not really sure about that. I don't want to make that a guarantee, but we'll start in with that anyway. Today's The More You Know is brought to you by, wow, I'm tongue-tied already. Brought to you by Adventure Family Fun Center up here in Queensbury, upstate New York. Now, they are open. I believe they're open weekdays now. Their hours are going to be changing because school is letting out. But inside is open. The go-karts are open. They have lifted all, and we should probably cheer for this. We usually don't talk about serious stuff, but they have lifted all COVID restrictions. Put our hands together for that. That is awesome. So they have the indoor laser tag, the snack bar, the jungle gyms, the arcade, and the go-karts are open as well. And if you are a listener of this particular show, if you use code, I did not make this code, everyone. This is too long. I did not make this. We're making it short in July. DWAFFC or ADK, yeah. DWADK 2021 receive 6 go-kart tickets for $35. That's $10 off the regular price. So you're saving $10. And let me tell you, we've had fun on the go-karts last year. We're going to do it again. And speaking of Brim, hopefully we'll be able to get Brim up here soon. And we're going to have a go-kart off. He thinks he can beat us. And I'm not. Brim's a big boy, Brim. I'm telling you right now, I got the weight. Wade is on my side this time. So, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But right,
not in the ring, but on the go-karts. You got him.
Yes, I think so. I'll even give him a half lap lead. Just go. All right. Today's the more you know. That's what we got. All right. 4 days until Father's Day. Now, you guys better not forget your fathers. I always say this, and I sound like a broken record, but whenever there's a sports player on there, who do you want to say hey to? Hi, Mom. What about Dad? Why does Dad always get forgotten? I just don't understand. So, come on. Be happy with Dad. You better have gotten him a gift. You got 4 days to figure this out. 18 days until 4th of July. 82 days until Labor Day. Now, Day, are you a Halloween fan? Is that a big holiday for you?
I love Halloween. I love it.
Now, can you remember your first costume as a child?
Or
did you have a favorite costume as a kid?
I remember my mom making me a butterfly costume one year, and it was so special to me because she actually made it herself with her own hands. And I remembered that costume, and I was young. I was probably like 7 or 8 when she made that for me.
That's awesome. Well, you have to wait 137 more days until Halloween, 162 days until Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving for you, did you come from a big family? Was it a big family meal, the traditional turkey, mashed potatoes kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. My family is huge and loud, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I love them.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. What I said is 162 days for that, 165 days till Hanukkah, 192 days until Christmas, and we can't wait long enough, but it's going to take 198 days to get to New Year's. It's pretty quiet on the national holiday front. Today is National Fudge Day. I give this a holiday, not a holiday, because I'm not a fudge guy. Are you a fudge guy?
Oh, yeah.
I should say fudge girl.
Peanut butter fudge and dark chocolate. Oh, yeah. I love me some fudge.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm not a sweet tooth guy, so it's too sweet for me. But according to legend, a confectioner flubbed while trying to make caramel, but ended up creating something just as tasty. We celebrate this happy accident on June 16th, which is National Fudge Day. Fudge also has historic ties to female scholars in the late 19th and 20th century, when recipes for it spread like wildfire among students at women's colleges such as Vassar, Wellesley, and Smith. One student in 1890 made 30 pounds for their Vassar senior auction for their, wow, 30 pounds. Holy crap.
That's like
and
a
lastly
baby.
Today is, what's that?
That's like a baby, like a toddler full of fudge.
Right? And lastly, it is Fresh Veggies Day. I'm a huge vegetable person. Back in the day, I would be you're pretty much bachelor eating out of Chef Boyardee and Domino's every night. But now I'm really loving asparagus, cucumbers, you name it. I pretty much like them all. What about you? Are you a big veggie person?
I am. Back in my day, they used to call me Dinty Moore because all I would eat was that Dinty Moore stew.
Yeah.
And now, now I'm like, oh, I love vegetables. I like to roast pretty much everything. Broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, you name it, I'll roast it.
No offense, though. Dinty Moore is so good.
I'm
sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it. Now I know what I'm doing for dinner. No, I can't. I gotta be eating healthy. Today in history. In 1884, the first roller coaster was used in Coney Island, New York. Are you a roller coaster person or no?
I wasn't for a long time. I rode my first roller coaster when I was 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember where was it down by you?
It was in on Mission Beach, this big wooden roller coaster down here.
Nice. Those are the best, though. The wooden ones. We have one up here at the Six Flags. It's it came from Coney Island. It's called the Comet, and it's all wooden. And the best time to go, as creepy as this might sound, the best time to go is right after a rainstorm. The wheels are slick and it's fast. Now everybody's like, that's kind of stupid.
terrible.
I'm like, no, it's really, it's
You know
fluffy.
what? I actually lied to you. The first roller coaster that I rode was the Jackrabbit at Kennywood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, whenever I was little, and I almost fell out of it. So I refused to get on another one until I was 28. That was my second roller coaster.
But you met the height requirement. You should have been okay.
I decided to crawl out from under it or something. Yeah, it was a bad situation. I wasn't a smart child.
Okay, then. You said it, not me. In 1903, Ford Motors under Henry Ford, it starts to incorporate. 1903, did a little bit of history here. The Pepsi-Cola company is finally formed. Now, we'll get a little bit of history of this because Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they've been around for ages. The birthplace of the soda Pepsi-Cola was on 256 Middle Street, New Bern, North Carolina. Abraham, the inventor of the first Pepsi, was born in Chicopin. I always screw up these names. It's weird. Chicopin, North Carolina, with the intention of becoming a doctor. He studied at the University of Maryland while working part-time as a pharmacy apprentice in a drugstore. Now, his original concept for Pepsi was for health reasons. He felt that it was going to help their customers with stomach aches and digestion, and wanted to create the Pepsi Cola without the harsh ingredients found in other colas. Now, they are not the first cola. Believe the very first cola we just did this a few months ago, ginger ale or root beer. I believe it was ginger ale was the very first carbonated soda. The original ingredients used to create Pepsi was by blending sugar, water, vanilla, rare oils, and cola nuts for a syrup and mixed it with a carbonated water. When first developed in 1893, this beverage was called Brad's Drink. It sounds very hipsterish now. Maybe they should bring that back because that sounds like the hipsters would drink. I'll take a Brad's.
Could you imagine going into a restaurant and be like, "Yo, can I get a Brad's?"
I'll take a large Brad. By the way, that could segue into your other show from last week.
They just bring you a whole man.
Yeah. I'm not bisexual. I just wanted a drink.
You're lying to yourself, man.
You're lying to yourself, definitely. In 1902, Caleb applies for a trademark with the U.S. Patent Office and forms the first Pepsi-Cola company. One of the first ever advertisements for Pepsi appears in the New Bern Weekly Journal on November 27, 1902. Now, and how much do you think the first can or the first bottle of Pepsi cost? And this would be in 1902.
1 penny.
You're not too far off. 5 cents.
Okay.
Not bad. In the advertisement, claimed to be a healthy, refreshing, invigorating, delicious drink. The first trademark was granted to Club Bradham June 16th in 1903. The special trademark protected the recipe used to give flavoring to the syrup that was added to the soda water. Now, there's been a lot of we've heard conspiracy theories about when Coca-Cola started, they tried to sabotage Pepsi. Now they are the two biggest brands there are. I don't think I've had, let's see. No, I gave up Red Bull a year and 2 months ago. And I haven't had soda really in months. Are you a soda drinker?
I'm not. I gave up soda a long time ago. It's just it wasn't for me. I just drink water and tea and coffee and wine. A lot of wine.
And a lot of wine. Oh, hey, that's all right. Doctors say a glass or two a night is very healthy for you. So I don't know if it's a glass or a bottle. Maybe a bottle, 1 or 2 bottles a night, maybe. I'm not sure.
Fingers crossed that it's a bottle.
Okay, right? It's in moderation. Who cares? All right. What do we got today? We have, in 1972, we're going to have to kick this music off for a second because we got a little bit of extra music here. 1972, and this is before a lot of people's times right now. Why aren't you coming on? Come on there. There we go. 1972, David Bowie releases his 5th studio album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, a concept album telling the story of a fixed. There's a theme to this show. I think I'm going to have to come on your show because there's a theme to this day. It's a story of a fictional bisexual alien rock star named Ziggy Stardust. The album, which reached number 5 in the UK and number 75 in the US, has been consistently considered one of the greatest albums of all time. And that I have listened to this. I do have this on vinyl, and it is a very weird album. Very weird. And it seems bisexual seems to be the theme for this show and your show from last week. We're just going to keep it going. Here's another one. This is a hidden bisexual.
Ooh.
Where is it here? Oh, yes, there we go. 1978 film Grease opened starring John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, based on the 1970 musical. Now, when I say hidden bisexual, there have been, well, we're getting really trash. This has to be you because I'm never this trashy on this show. I think it's you. I think you bring out
my energy. I bring out the worst in people.
Or the best. It depends on how you look at it now. Don't throw me under the bus so quick already, Dave. So there's been rumors that Mr. Travolta was likes both.
Oh.
So, but he's not necessarily said he's come out. Maybe he's the one who wrote you that dirty little secret on last week's episode.
I bet you it was him. You know what? Good for him. But be true to yourself, John. Come on, Johnny, be true.
Exactly. All right. We'll go on to the next 1980. Oh, I don't have that one. 1980 musical comedy film The Blues Brothers, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, directed by John Landis, premieres in Chicago. Love that movie. It's very musically oriented today in history. And we got the last one is one of my favorite bands. 1996, Rage Against the Machine, Beastie Boys, Smashing Pumpkins, Fugees, and this band here. The Red Hot Chili Peppers with John Lee Hooker, Beck, Sonic Youth, Yoko Ono, De La Soul, and Richie Havens all appeared at the two-day Tibetan Freedom Concert in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. A sellout crowd of over 100,000 made it the largest benefit concert since Live Aid in 1985.
Wow.
And that is Today in History.
Awesome. What was it benefiting?
It was a Tibetan Freedom Concert. So I was assuming it was Tibet, the freedom. I was assuming because of the what do I want to call it? The riots and government problems that were going on over there at the time.
Yeah.
And that's a huge lineup right there. I'm not a big concert goer now. I have a issue with crowds, but in my 20s and 30s, I loved concerts. How is it? Same thing for you? You kind of like mellow out now with the crowds, or?
Yeah, well, see, it depends. I'm snobby about concerts now. Like in my 20s, I would be like, lawn tickets, let's go. And that would be fine. And now I'm like, I'm going to need a chair, or I'm going to need someone to sweat on me. Like I need to be close enough to feel spit, or.
Are we talking about a concert here?
Yeah.
What's going on here, Day? Do I have to change the music for this?
Yes, like I'm going to need Kenny Chesney. I'm a country girl, though. I love country music. So I need Kenny Chesney to be able to sweat on me. Or not that you're old. You're like my grandmother when Elvis came out, throwing her panties in. I want the sweat. I want everything from me. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm like, I want to reach. I want to touch your hand, and I'm going to remember it forever, except I won't because I've been to many concerts now. I never
I'll
remember.
Never wash his hand again. Yeah. Never. Oh, my God. That's too funny. Now, any other type of music that you like, or is it just country for this part?
I'm real big into line dancing and two-stepping and stuff like that. So I'm usually, I listen to today's top 40 and stuff like that also with my kids in the car.
Okay.
I love oldies. I love Motown. And I love country.
Okay. All right. There you go. Motown's good. That's sadly the only music I don't like is country. I don't know why. I think because my parents used to listen to it, and all it's about is your dog died, your truck broke down, your girlfriend left you, your house floated away in a flood.
See, that's what we want you to think. We need to make sure we don't get too overpopulated over here with all the good music, you know?
Right. right? I'm just like, is there anything positive? Because that's the type of country that, I don't think there was a positive Johnny Cash song yet that I've ever heard from. So, I'm like, damn.
Well, Johnny Cash was going through some stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Johnny Cash was definitely going through some stuff. Walking the line. He definitely was walking something. He was doing something with that line.
Yeah. He was walking to do a line.
Yeah, right. We usually take a commercial break, but we're going to go right into the next segment because we're having fun and we're rolling, and then we'll take a commercial break, and then we'll talk all about you. So we're going to start in with it's a very small trip into a small book into the strange tale. So we're going to get right into that, and it is right there.
Now, EPPN presents Today with DW's Strange Tales.
Among Us chicken nuggets. McDonald's chicken nuggets sold for $100,000 on eBay. If you're not aware of what that is, Among Us is a video game. Piece of chicken resembling a character from the game attracted 180 bids. McDonald's chicken nugget shaped like the crewmate from Among Us has been auctioned off for almost $100,000. The piece of chicken fetched $99,997 on eBay. According to the seller, the used nugget came from a BTS combo meal. So that's one of their special chicken nugget combo meals. Item will be frozen and then air sealed to ensure freshness. If you ever eat at McDonald's, there's nothing fresh about anything at McDonald's. So I don't understand. It's kind of an oxymoron right there.
Yeah, you don't need to go through all that trouble. That shit's gonna last forever.
Yeah, most definitely. Just put it on your counter. It's good. It's good. And it will be shipped. It will be securely shipped. The food product has an average expiration of about 14 days and will be delivered prior to expiration. So I can leave my chicken nugget out for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
No, not refrigerated. Stick it in the microwave and eat it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Oh, that didn't sell you on McDonald's? That's weird.
Listen, like I said, I used to be a huge fast food person just because it was convenient. McDonald's. I used to go to Taco Bell 3 times a week. Now it's like, nope. Every now and then I'll get a craving and I'll drive by and I'll get the tacos. I'll bring them home. And it's like I cheated on my girlfriend or something. I'm like, oh man, I just don't feel good about this, but it's so good. I'm like, no, not that I ever cheated on my girlfriend either. So let's get that. Don't start rumors out there. I know you're listening. I don't want to hear any of that. It's not dirty little secrets here. This is the Today with DW show.
Well, speaking of dirty little secrets, we had a vegan come out and say that she would, when she would get very stressed, drive through McDonald's.
Ooh, that's pretty big for a vegan. Ooh.
Yeah.
And did you know, did Brim say it or did I know that eating French fries isn't vegan?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Somebody actually wrote into us today and told us that it was, I think, beef stock.
Yeah,
there's beef stock in their grease, and that's why it's not vegan.
So anything,
French fries.
Anything, and true vegans understand that. And I love you all, but some of you are quite snobby about your veganism. They will ask if the restaurant, if the restaurant says that they're vegan, they have to really make sure they have to have a separate fryer or a separate container of grease, because you got steaks or you got burgers or you got chicken wings or whatever's in there is going to contaminate, the French fries or whatnot. So.
Oh yeah, they're all prove it.
Yes, exactly. What do you got? What else is here? What else did it say about this? Among Us, which encourages players to collaborate or deceive each other in an online murder mystery, was released for mobile devices in 2018 and for PC in November of the same year. It had roughly 500 million monthly active users in November 2020, making it by far the most popular game ever in terms of monthly players. December 2020, developer Intersoft received a Switch version of Among Us featuring cross-platform play, and also made the title available through Epic Games Store and Xbox Games Pass and PC. I want to know, and this was bought in London because they gave me pounds. It was like 70,000 pounds was the conversion.
Okay. Yeah.
So who the hell's got money to spend on that? Now, I hope it's not some little kid, some teenager who doesn't take a bath and has BO and has con crud, and his rich parents just bought him that chicken nugget because he's a huge gamer.
I can't, it kind of makes me a little sad that somebody can just waste money on something like that when there's so much shit going on in the world that I'm like, man, you could have wasted money donating to this, but instead you donated to a chicken nugget.
There's people in many countries, third world countries, starving, and Could have used that chicken nugget because it will get there less than 14 days to feed them. No,
You could have bought bottled water and handed them out to people that don't have fresh water. But no, we got a chicken nugget because it looks like a shape. Do you remember, was it the Jesus toast?
Yes, Jesus toast. I've seen what we call now the Cheez-It, which was a Cheez-It that was shaped like Jesus.
Oh my God.
Or you could call it Christ checks. Either one works. So we reported on that there was a spud. There was a potato that was shaped. I forgot who it was shaped like, but that sold for a ton of money. So I guess I'm just going to start looking for crap that looks like people and just put it on eBay and sell it. I think I'm in the wrong business.
Maybe just find one of the people that bought the ridiculous item and see if they have like a lady that like their mom is single or something like that you can get in there.
There you go. All right. Yeah, there you go. I'll be downstairs playing with your son's video games and looking at that chicken nugget, and then I'm going to steal it. You know what? The best thing to do is just eat it. You can't get it back.
What day are we on? 13? All right, it's good.
It's good. You do the smell test. Yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's good. What else we got in? Oh, this is a good one. Drunk Wisconsin teen breaks in and sleeps in Airbnb filled with cops. Boy, you picked the wrong house to break into. A drunken teen broke into a Milwaukee home, shares a home. Wow, this is written wrong. A drunken teen broke into a Milwaukee home sheriff's deputies were staying in. The Montana deputies were in Wisconsin for training. Wow, this kid's got bad luck. Total bad luck. Excuse me, coughing here a little bit. Here we go. Where'd he go? Oh, my article went. There it is. One of the officer, the Montana deputies were in Wisconsin. That's a tongue twister. For emergency vehicle training, and we're renting the Airbnb. One of the officers documented the encounter on social media. Said about 2:30 in the morning, I heard some crashing upstairs. But I thought it was one of the guys going to the bathroom. It wasn't me, the deputy said on TikTok. The officer found the back door open and realized there was an intruder. After going upstairs, he found a 19-year-old asleep in one of the beds. Matt finds this dude lying in the bed in our house. This is one of the officers speaking. Dude broke into the house in the middle of the night. The silly guy found the Airbnb. All of downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, loaded with cops. He woke up in handcuffs. And the cops doing this on TikTok. Cops, stop using TikTok.
Oh man, that's really interesting because you make a dumb move. I've made so many dumb moves. I've never entered a place before, but man, you're underage drinking because you're in Wisconsin and you're only 19,
right? And
you got a B&E.
You didn't get an Airbnb. You got a B&E.
And you have to face your friends after being on the news for breaking into the only Airbnb filled with cops. You just move, just leave the country.
Yeah. I don't think you can make it. Well, I shouldn't say you could make a dumber mistake. I'm sure there's a couple out there. So the deputy said, what if the dude stumbled? I love this guy. Dudes. What if that dude stumbled in bed with a kid or my wife? It could have been a different morning, right? Wrong place, wrong time. Lucky place, lucky time. There's dudes that are actually know how to handle that. Boy, the guy who speaks and wrote this article is pretty bad. The deputy said the teen had no idea where he was or where he had come from. Obviously, the deputies called the Milwaukee police, and they put the teen, but the teen was not cited or charged.
Oh.
Stated, he said he made a mistake. It's okay. We're going to get over it. And at the end of the day, we can smile about it and put his face all over TikTok.
Hey, you know what? Fair trade-off. All right. You got the charges dropped and now you just have to face national embarrassment.
Yep. You just got your break. So that was a quick trip into Strange Tales. When we come back, it's all going to be about Day and Dirty Little Secrets. And I really want to know what the name of your podcast, the Trophy Wife Life podcast. I want to know where that came from and so much more. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You know what? You should probably grab a glass of wine because you're going to need it for this one. It's going to be a hell of a ride.
Introducing Body Armor Edge. Sports hydration with a boost of caffeine.
Kyler Murray drops back, looks downfield. Here comes the blitz. Murray finds an opening. And sideline dives and he misses. He's got daylight. Murray sprinting, picking up speed.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for Kyler Murray to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Happy Hump Day. What better guest to have on a Hump Day edition today with DW? I don't mean it any perverted way, you guys. Just cut it out. Day and I we're on the same page.
I don't know. I might mean it in a nasty way.
Okay, sure. Whatever the guest wants. This is why we.
Yes, your prerogative.
Whatever the guest wants is what we do. If you missed the first half of the show, well, that sucks for you. No, I'm just kidding. You can go back and watch the replay. The audio edition of this will come out tomorrow. But if you did miss it, it was pretty. This is the most fun I've had with a guest in a long time. And we just met. But I've been listening to her amazing podcast that just started out with Brimstone from Grindhouse Radio, who's also a Modern family member here on the network. And make sure you check them out. They come out on Sundays on our network. You can check them out on Thursdays on grindhouseradio.com. And they do a live sneak peek, unedited live Facebook video portion of their podcast on Mondays at 7:00. But today is about Day, the one half. Dayna, the one half of Dirty Little Secrets Club.
I hope it's my good half. I hope it's the top half. That's the part with the boobs.
Well, if you're wearing a crop top, I think everybody would have been fine with that. So and Brim would even say you are the better half. Well, so we already know that's going to happen. That's already done. That's a done deal. Before we get into the Dirty Little Secrets and Brim and how that started, let's go right off to the fact of the trophy wife life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's a trophy wife doesn't have a positive title to it in a lot of cases. So, and researching you, not stalking you, everybody, relax. I have to do some research for my guest. You are very positive. You don't put off that. So I'm assuming this is a type of like a pun on the name per se.
It is, whenever I kind of screwed myself with the name, if I'm being honest. So it's that trophy wife life. And I kind of set out to rebrand trophy wife. I wanted to say like, hey, if you, your kids are breathing, your husband's breathing, people are fed, you yourself are taken care of, like whatever you're doing to make it through your day. Congratulations. You did it. You deserve a trophy. You're a trophy wife.
Okay.
Because I feel like I started off with trophy wife being a joke. Like I was doing videos on YouTube about the trophy wife life, and it was all comedy, and then nobody got it. So I had to start putting participation trophy wife in front of my name.
Yeah, I saw that. So you get a participation trophy? That means you didn't win.
Yeah. But we all get awards here because you know what? If you're doing your best, then you deserve it.
So how's it been? Now you started in January, as you were saying. How's the response been? Have you gotten? Because we all know what the trophy, what a trophy wife, what the term and trophy wife is, and obviously it's not necessarily a positive thing. Have you felt that you've made the shift for yourself or the people listening that I'm putting a positive twist on this, and we're trying to change the stereotype kind of thing?
It's very interesting because I started replying to people because there were like at the very beginning, people would be like, you're not a trophy wife, like trying to insult me. And I would just write back, maybe it's a participation trophy with like a little wink face because that was our tagline. Maybe it's a participation trophy. And so after getting that out a lot and then people actually listening to my show and then people retweeting and people telling their friends and everything else. So now I have this cool little community of people that are in on the joke. And it's just really fun. Everybody writes in their stories to me and then I get to read them and we do different topics every week. Like I was just
going to ask you, what type of topics do you cover on the podcast?
So it's not all mom stuff. It's not all wife stuff. I did a bad dates episode last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks, I did a continuance because we got so many submissions for bad dates.
Oh, wow.
So I did an episode on that. I did a dad fail episode for Father's Day. So my next episode next week coming out is with a couple of guys that have their own popular podcast. And so, we're covering all dad fails. I did mom fails for Mother's Day. I've done Oh, my favorite was the Guinness Book of World Records for the weirdest things.
Oh,
Was hilarious.
I want
Uh,
to see that. I want to, how, anything come to highlight, anything right off the top of your head on that episode that you could share?
Mike in Florida with the smallest penis on record. He's He's just a
Oh,
little tiny guy, but he gets laid all the time because everybody wants to see it. They're always like, no way, because he holds the title for the smallest penis in the world.
can you imagine that? That would be your line. Hey, you want to see the smallest penis in the world? Pff, no, trust me. No, yeah,
I don't
okay.
care who you are. My husband and would also be standing next to me, like, let me see.
Let me see it. I can't see it. Get a little closer.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. Come on. Wow. Oh, that's too funny. So, and you're a mom.
I am, yes, 4 children.
What?
Yeah, might as well be 100. Yeah, I have 4 kids.
Oh man. Wow. 4 children. So obviously, you're staying home mom. I'm
Mhm.
assuming with the 4 kids, so that's
I
gotta be
am.
crazy. We don't talk too much about, COVID and whatnot, but I do ask my guests, especially in all parts of the world or the country, I should say. We had an LA correspondent, a good friend of mine, in the beginning of the pandemic, and he was like literally just a few blocks away from the riots that were in LA. So he would give us some correspondence on that. But for you as a mom, especially that way, how has it been for you? How's it been for your husband? Obviously, California was one of the the hardest or the highest states, just like New York State was as well, and especially New York City, LA.
Yeah.
How'd that go for you, Will?
It was kind of a bummer for sure, but I just kind of stayed home and
Right,
kept
right.
my kids home and like trusted that, if I did my part and then we would get out of this eventually. And it was hard. I mean, having 4 kids on, virtual learning
Hmm.
is insane. Luckily, I have 2 teenagers, so my 15-year-old, my 14-year-old, they were pretty able to just kind of do things on their own.
Right.
And then my daughter is 6 and she was in kindergarten, and that was a little rougher, but I think it was harder on the kids than it was for me.
Hmm.
I learned during the pandemic that I really love to be an introvert. Like, I like to be a homebody. I like sitting at home with my husband and drinking wine by the fire and not having to talk to anybody.
Right,
So
right.
whenever people were like, I didn't have to make excuses anymore to not go to parties.
Right, very true. And we talked about this a little bit too with some of the other. We actually, I think there's more women in my studio as far as podcasters than we do have men. So we do talk a little bit about the moms and relationships and stuff like that. That this year, as you're saying, for kids, it's got to be really tough, especially at any age group at this point. I'm not saying teenagers don't have it easier than the younger kids, but as you're saying, introvert, this whole year being cooped up and doing virtual reality, especially with the youngsters, they lose the social capabilities to integrate and talk and play. So we may have made we joke about being introverts. We're adults now at this point, but we
Yeah.
may have started. This may have started a long line of people not being able to know how to socialize or like, I know as a kid myself, I wasn't I was a jock, but I wasn't part of the jocks. I was an artist, but I wasn't part of the artists. I kind of just melded in with whatever. But I
Mhm.
did a lot of time as a young kid playing by myself. It wasn't, it's not a sad story or anything like that. It's just what I
Right.
chose to do. Where we lived out where there's no houses anywhere for miles. So it was just me. It was me in the woods and toys and whatnot. Now with all the opportunities for kids, you have the opportunities to go to daycare, to kindergarten, first grade, and interact with all kids of the same age. This year's got to be really tough, and it's going to be tough for parents being like, don't because I know some kids are, not that they're scared of COVID, but now they're scared of um going out with friends because they don't know how to act now. They don't know what to do. They're going to stand there like a true introvert would, and that's going to be tough for parents.
It is, and so with the teenagers, especially, like just a few days ago, my son was. I was like, call your friend and get the hell out of here. Like, go down to the park, go do what you were going to do. The cases now in San Diego are very, very low. We're under
Mhm.
100, and so And both of my children just got their second vaccine shots today. I'm like, ready, go live your life. Like that's we're ready. Spread those wings and fly, motherfuckers.
Get out of there. I
Like,
want my glass of get out of the house. I want my glass of wine. Just come.
yeah. But if you think about it, going back even to when our grandparents, there's always something that's going to shape that generation. And just for our kids now, this is what's going to shape a little bit of their generation. And it's going to continue that way until the end of time. There's always going to be something.
Right. Now, how, excuse me, now, how'd this affect your other half? Well, I'm sure he had to deal with the situations as well. I mean, I know I know what he does for work. Yeah, I see. I did my research. I didn't stalk anybody. Stop. I did my research. I got to research once in a while. I try not to. Was his business affected too? Because I know here in New York State, it was a total shutdown on that type of business.
So my husband owns a construction company and he has a lot of government contracts. And so business
he got to bypass all of that. Awesome.
Construction was considered essential, especially with his government contracts. And his business kind of was booming at the time. So he never stopped working. However, he had to go away one weekend. Actually, it was for like a full month, but I wouldn't let him back in the house because it was right when COVID was starting and he had been on an airplane. And I was like, nope, you got
go get a hotel room. Get out of here.
You got 2 weeks, pal. So
you gave your husband a quarantine?
I did.
Wow.
He was able to stay in the house though, because we have a guest room that has a door that goes to the backyard. So gotcha. He was able to come and stay in the guest room, and there's a bathroom and stuff in there. And I would
he was a prisoner. You slide his food underneath the door.
I would put it outside on a chair and then call him and say, your food's outside.
And now wipe the chair down with a hand wipe now, and wipe that off with a disinfectant wipe. Don't touch the door handle when you close the door.
Yeah. I was insane about it whenever COVID first started. Because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who gets sick and who dies and who doesn't. So I went a little over the top with it.
Oh my God. So you did start in last January. Did the pandemic kind of affect your decision to do the podcasting? Well, what got you going into the podcasting? Because as I told you, this show would have never been born without COVID. And I always try to put a positive twist on this. I understand COVID is serious and there's a lot of things that have gone bad and a lot of people hurt and whatnot, and a lot of people out of jobs, but we try to do the positive thing here too. If I wouldn't probably be in the studio still, I wouldn't have started the show. I wouldn't be talking with you. I wouldn't have been talking with Bram and having all these guests. I think it affected me in a positive way that, like I said, I started doing daily because I lost my job. I had no routine. I was laid off for months and months, pretty much almost an entire year. So that gave me a routine. Did that affect your decision too?
So podcasting, it actually started off slow and then the pandemic hit. And to my surprise, numbers went up. And I was like, what? And then I realized everybody's home. They have nothing else to do but listen to podcasts while they're doing their dishes or trying to ignore their kids or what have you. And so the numbers went up. And I actually said to my husband this past week, I had noticed on that Trophy Wife Life that they kind of went down a little bit. And I was like, why did this happen? And then I was like, oh, California everything just opened up. Mask mandates were lifted. Everybody's out living their best lives. They don't give a shit about my podcast right now.
And that's what I already knew, even without the pandemic, summertime listens drop everywhere. That's just the way it is. That's what I tell my new podcasters too. Like, don't get discouraged. Do not get discouraged at all. It'll come back in the fall. Don't worry. But what is good, and people want to quit because they get discouraged. I'm like, don't do that. Now these people that didn't listen on the summer now have weeks worth of back catalog of them. If they enjoy the one in November, they're going to go back to the one in August, or the 4 in August, the 4 in July, the 4 in June. You're going to get those listens are going to go back up, and we'll go back and revisit the stats, but that's what's going to happen. And so, and yes, COVID definitely impacted the network as well as, as far as the listens. Our show started out, I started doing it from 9 to 10:30 in the morning because everybody's unemployed or staying at home. And the live interaction was amazing. I mean, I'm getting comments and comments and comments and comments, and and then halfway through, some of the state restrictions opened up, and then almost gone, it was like crickets. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's time for us to move it to the evenings where people are coming home from work or cooking dinner, whatever, and just moving it that way. So again, podcasting is up and down. I talked about this on a show yesterday that I did. And the same thing, I'm sure you understand the same thing. Every episode has a high. Every episode every show has its lows and high points. One show is going to be great. It's going to have over 1,000 listens or whatever it may be. And then the next show is like 10, and you're like, oh, what'd I do?
Yeah. So I feel like the one thing that I constantly tell myself is whenever I started this show, I said I was doing it because I wanted to do it because it was fun and I liked it. And, I didn't give a shit if 10 people were listening or 1,000 people were listening. And so now that I kind of had like a little taste of it, of the good stuff, I'm like, well, I don't want you to take it away.
Right. Oh no, definitely. But you have the good attitude there as I tell our podcasters that come to studios that are first time podcasters, I go, the one question you're not going to ask me for a month is how many listens you got each week, because it's not important. Because the minute you start focusing on the numbers, now you're going to start second guessing your topics, your content. Then you're going to be like, well, if I talk like this, or if I do something different, I will not give you stats for the first month. I don't want you to see them. I don't want you to focus on that. And then after the first month, then I'll be like, okay. And if you seem discouraged, then we'll talk about it and this is the realization or the facts of what's going on here.
Right.
People who focus on the content or don't focus on the content and just the numbers are doing it for the wrong reasons. And that's just not going to happen. If you focus on your content, if you record it, they will listen. Just like if they build it, they will come,
Yeah.
So if you focus on your content and you want to have fun and you aren't having fun, that's going to show in your shows, whether it's audio or video. Definitely. So that's going to lead us right into the newest fun show. We talked a little bit off air. You were partnering up with a good friend of mine and a fellow Podder and family member here with Mr. Brimstone. How did that come about?
It was interesting because we didn't know each other. I had asked a question for a topic one week on that trophy wife life, and he had sent me a story. And then after that, we just kind of followed each other on social media. And then I do a segment on that trophy wife life called Display Case. And it's more interview based where I can actually invite guests onto the show and learn about them and ask them questions and kind of like make it fun.
Oh, very
and
cool.
Brimstone, I think, was our third guest on that segment. And after that, he just one day was like, hey, I think it would be fun if you and I did a show together. He was like, I feel like we had good chemistry and we should do a show together.
Very cool.
And I was like,
did you come up with the topic? Did you come up with the top or the name of the show, or was it kind of like a mutual kind of thing?
So I threw it out to Brimstone that I already had an idea for a show because I had this idea about a year ago, but I never ran with it because I was still trying to figure out that trophy wife life. So it kind of just sat on the back burner for a while. And whenever I pitched it to Brimstone, he was like, yep, that's the one. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's
and
no
so,
brainer.
yeah.
It's a great thing.
And so I, got the website ready and stuff like that. Brim did the logos and got a whole bunch of stuff ready. And we worked on it and developed it together after that. And it has been, it is so fun.
So for everybody, it's called the Dirty Little Secrets Club. And it means exactly what it is. The people... And if you want to, you can as well. They will give you where you can go, the URL on the website to do this. People will anonymously send in their dirty little secrets. Now, I should let Day say this, but I'm saying this as a listener. They do not say people's names. They're very respectful of that. But it's a good time. It's anonymous, and I sent one in. No, I didn't send one. I didn't send one in because I know if I did, Brim would be like, oh, there'd be a huge laugh or something. He would know.
So, the good thing is, though, it's anonymous. So you don't even put your name, your email, nothing. So people can just send whatever they want. We have no idea who it is.
And I think that's awesome. You get things off your chest. There's 5. Is it 5 up? No, there's 5 episodes out now.
Yes, 5 now. We just recorded our 6th, and it comes out on Tuesday.
So if you guys didn't hear in the beginning of the show or didn't see some of the teasers on social media, they are now joining the network. They're going to be exclusively on the network as well as on their own websites and social media pages and platforms. But we're bringing them on. We're going to upload all of their shows, all the last 5 shows this week, and then the 6th show will be the following week, and then we'll catch up with everybody on that. So you guys will be able to listen to that. And they're not overly long, but let me tell you, I wish some of them were a little long. I'll be honest, because who doesn't like to listen to some dirty little secrets and some gossip? I will give you a teaser on the first episode. They said, hey, we're not going to talk about murder. And topic number 3 was a murder. Well, I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, really? Nobody's going to give us a murder. Number 3, right off the bat. I'm like, holy crap.
But it wasn't anyone like admitting to a murder.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
We were like, don't tell us that's if I don't want to do paperwork, I don't want to have to call the cops. I don't want to.
Or you don't want the cops calling you. We heard about you. We want to know if it's the guy. Well, I don't know. He didn't give a name. We don't know. So don't go on there and say you're going to commit a murder and because it's anonymous. I don't want to hear that. That'll be
no thank you. No thank you to all of that. No, but we do get some good ones.
So what is interesting that I didn't know until tonight on the show is that you're your own producer and engineer when it comes to this. So you're doing your own graphics as well. The thumbnails on YouTube. Obviously you were self-taught since January. That's a huge kudos to you for that. That's amazing.
Well, before you give me kudos for that is actually the graphics and everything for the YouTube channel and the thumbnail and everything is Brimstone sent that to me.
No, what about the trophy wife?
That trophy wife life, I do all of that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Well, I knew that Brim does those. Yeah, but you do.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still giving you props.
Okay,
that's
you.
a lot to take on because I know that's what I did back in 2010, 2011. That I literally knew nothing about recording audio, nothing, and bought $3,200 worth of stuff and learned how to use Pro Tools Lite and stayed up for 24 hours and just went go. So I understand the level of commitment and I got to say with 4 kids at home.
Yeah, I ignore my kids a lot.
Wow. And the Mom of the Year award goes to.
No, it's interesting. So I just kind of started picking like I always did the audio. I learned that. I taught myself how to do that. And then whenever we got into the video, I was like, oh, I don't want to. It was just so like just nerve-wracking. Mm-hmm. And then I started to teach myself that. And now I'm like, oh, now I'm a pro. I can do this, do that, and get it done with. And so, but it's fun to teach yourself something. Like I actually feel like I have a skill set now.
Right.
Before I was just the mom. And now I'm like, but now I'm a mom that has a show and can do all this cool shit.
Right. Yeah. Oh, definitely. And that's funny. On one of our former shows, that was a topic, and and she was a mom. And one of the things was you lose your identity, whether you're a mom, no matter how many kids you are, it's always mom and the wife, mom and wife, mom and wife, mom and wife, mom and wife. Where the fuck is my me time?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this, obviously it's a creative passion for you. Do you consider that your me time? Is that just like leave mommy alone? I'm editing, I'm podcasting, and I'm editing my video. That's your me time with a glass of wine or whatever however you want to do it. Do you consider that your me time?
I mean, yeah, I guess it is my me time because it's not like I'm doing anything else for me time.
Right.
So, and you know what? Typically it is me with a glass of wine or I like to edit by the pool on Sundays.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like lay down. I put a boogie board over my lap, put the computer on top of it and sit in the pool.
Yeah. There you go.
Get all basic with my White Claw.
Get a tan while I'm editing. Now that should be a thumbnail for one of your videos. I'm sure that would get a lot of hits. This is me. This is me editing. This is what I do.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it is my me time. They know, and my husband knows, like, don't bother me during this time. The kids go to daddy during that time, not me. So yeah, it is.
And your husband's obviously supportive of this, obviously, and the whole family is supportive of this. Yeah.
My husband is so supportive of it that he built me a studio in his.
Well, a man in construction. What better way?
Right? Yeah. He was like, well, if you're going to do it, I call it the Pod Castle. And so
Nice.
I get to go. Right now I'm in my home area, so I'm not at
Right.
the podcastle, but yeah, so I have my own studio set up in his building, which is cool.
Very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what is the goal? Do you have a goal, a 2-year, 3-year, like 6-year kind of goal for what you want to do with with either of the podcasts at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to watch the podcast grow, both of them. I think that trophy wife life could be turned into kind of like a Howard Stern situation,
Hmm.
like with the TV and guests and stuff like that. I think
Right.
that would be really cool. I'm shocked already at the amount of opportunities that have presented themselves to me just even over the last 4 months or
Hmm.
so. Um, that it's just I'm learning that if I open my mind to it, anything is possible, and I just keep, like, trying to attract all the good stuff, just,
Yep.
and roll with the punches, see
I
where it goes.
totally agree with you. If things have opened, and I was the same way, thinking about, I'm going to open myself up to new opportunities and whatnot. Before, I'm just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not too good with that. Nah, I'm going to say no to that. Now it's almost be careful what you wish for, because I'm saying yes, and now I'm getting bombarded with stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But again, and it's funny. There's a theme here. First it was bisexuals, and now it's like surrounding yourself with positive energy and good people. And that's what's been happening for me for the last 6-7 months, that the circle of people that I'm surrounding myself with, whether they're new podcasters or not, have opened up other doors for me. Just
Mhm.
probably similar to you. Brim opened up other doors for you. And it all works hand in hand. And the one thing about the podcasting environment too, as big as it is, it's really a tight knit group. Each of us have our own little cliques. I don't want to say cliques, but organizations. Like my podcasters, obviously Long Island. Now we can say California, Massachusetts, Kentucky, uh, Florida. But we're tight. If something
Yeah.
happens to one of one of us, or if somebody's, needs a guest right away, there's always somebody there. Even it's like, I'm eating dinner, give me 5 minutes, I'll come on and bail you out. That's important. And that doesn't happen everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? That means that there's a good, tight family.
Absolutely. I've met so many awesome people through doing podcasting. And I know, like, for example, my friend AJ, he has his podcast, and I needed a guest host to come onto my show. He's like, "Yep, got you. No problem. Let me know where and when." And he shows up and does me the solid. And I could call him tomorrow. I could call him in 5 minutes, and he would be like, "Yep, I'm there. No problem."
No, and that's awesome. And like I said, that shows. And I always say, and I'm sure people sound like it's a broken record, but my time is worth more than any amount of money that you could ever pay me. I can always make more money, but I can't get my time back. So
Yeah.
I feel, if I'm giving you my time, that I care about you, and that it's important. It's just as important to me as it is you. And I think more people need to understand that. But in this community, even people that I don't know that have reached out to me either through Brim or through Mr. Tom, because of Grindhouse, and vice versa. That, hey, do you want to be a guest on my show? I don't even know who you are, but I know who you're. So sure, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. I don't even know who the hell you are, but you're part. Brim gives you a thumbs up. You know what? That's good for me. And I think that's great. I think and that's awesome. I think that's really great.
I don't think that I've ever said no to a show. I
Mhm.
love meeting different kinds of people so
Mhm.
much, that I'm just like, yeah, sure. Let me come on your show. I would love to talk to you. I'd love to get to know people a little bit and see, like, what their inner workings of their minds are and stuff like that, and hear what
Mhm.
they're doing with their show. Because learning what other people are doing with their shows also gives you ideas for your shows too. And then you
Mhm.
end up helping each other and growing together. And you're right. It's this community, and it's so cool.
It's creative. Yeah, you're right. I've been on other shows going, ooh, I kind of like that. And it's not stealing anything. We're not talking about stealing, but you're like, oh, I like that. How could I do something similar to that, but for the way my show works? And it gives
Right.
it's a creative juices flowing. And you're like, and obviously during the pandemic, I mean, we're getting our creative juices flowing all by ourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, we did remote guests and stuff like that, but it's not the same. There's a different feel, especially if you're in a room or just talking with a group of like-minded people. You're just like, The energy in this room is amazing. I could talk to you for 4 or 5 days. I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just go and go and go. And all of a sudden you're like, it really is 4 or 5 hours. And I didn't even realize it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite though. A conversation that seems to last for 10 minutes. And then you look at the clock and it's 3 hours later and you're like, what just happened?
I thought I drank bottle of wine really fast, but it is 3 hours and not 10 minutes.
yeah. That's about 3 hours worth. Yeah. I don't know. Checks out.
So before we put you in the hot seat, as I told you in the beginning, we know, I already know that that you will not give us any dirty little secrets for yourself. I know Brim has been hesitant on that as well. But I have a show too that'll come back. Season 2 is becoming in the fall, so I'm doing cataloging, and you're going to kick off season 2, which I call 60 Seconds With. So it's like a man on the street, but we're going to really get to learn who Dayna is in a way from your answers. But before we do that, tell everybody where they can find you, when your shows come out, and all your online platforms where everybody can find you.
Yeah, great. So That Trophy Wife Life, it's a comedy show and it comes out every Monday, and you can go to thattrophywifelife.com, click the listen now or the watch now button, and it'll take you to YouTube or to all of the streaming platforms. And the same with the Dirty Little Secrets Club. That comes out on Tuesdays. If you want to submit your dirty little secret, go to the dirtylittlesecretsclub.com and you can just anonymously submit them there. And then I also have links there for you to go and listen on Apple, Google, Stitcher, or YouTube as well.
Awesome. And like I said, they'll be on our network with all their links too, to go through our network and all those similar platforms. I think it's on I think we're on the same, might be on the same platforms. We are working on trying to get on Pandora. That's been a big one we're trying to work on right now, but we'll put all the links in the show notes for this episode. So are you ready Are you ready for the?
I'm ready. I'm ready
for the drilling.
My ass doesn't get burned too much, but yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's see. So this is 60 seconds with, how do you say your last name again?
Pereira.
Pereira. Like Adam Ferreira, but with a P. Pereira.
Correct.
I got it.
Fine tricks. Love it.
All right. This is 60 seconds with Dayna Pereira. Are you ready?
Ready.
Dog kisses on the mouth. Yes or no?
My dog kisses me on the mouth all the time.
If you could podcast with anyone dead or alive, who would you pick?
Ooh, Betty White.
Good one. Is hot dog a sandwich?
No.
If you could choose one food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I would eat steak cooked medium with a butter sauce on top and roasted Brussels sprouts.
Nice. What's the creepiest thing you could say to a stranger?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
Come on, Dayna. Come on.
I want to see your penis.
Okay. Okay. If animals could talk, who would be the biggest asshole?
Cats.
Pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes.
And there you have it, everyone. That's 60 seconds with Dayna Pereira.
I'm sorry, strangers, for asking to see your penis.
Well, usually they don't ask; they just send you a dick pic. So I guess
ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
So
I've
you
been
did
on the
very
receiving
well.
end of that.
You did very well on that. So you'll be starting off 60 seconds, the new season of 60 Seconds with this fall. So what'd you think? Fun? Did you have a good time?
So fun. Thank you so much for having me on. This is a blast.
No, it's great. Before we go, just stay on before we sign off. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you guys had a great time. Make sure to check out Dayna on all her podcasts. And like I said, we'll put out the links. They'll also be part of the network starting next week. And we're going to try to get Brim. Brim seems to be busy. I think you're dodging me, Brim, because I know you're going to listen to this. I think you're dodging me. You're supposed to contact me this week, but I know you're busy. We will have the other half of Dirty Little Secrets on soon, as he was the very first guest on Today with DW when we did it way back in March of last year. Everybody, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your hump day and have a great weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.